the discussion. Sorry. All in favor of closing the discussion? All opposed? And I abstain. Okay, so now Mr. DeLuca's motion is on the table.
My motion was to postpone the meeting because the items, the two items that were added were not part of the vote when we voted to have this meeting. So the meeting would not have taken place had Mr. Miller
That's
before.
the argument, it's not your motion, just state your motion. And may I remind you, if you're postponing, in your motion, you should name the date or event to which you're postponing. In other words, if you're postponing until the next meeting, the motion should be, I move to postpone consideration, et cetera, until the next regular meeting. The words to that effect.
Well, Mr. Boone, may I ask Mr. Boone a question? I'm postponing this based on the additional items to the agenda. If this doesn't pass, I'm going to motion to adjourn this meeting based on the fact that the officer is not here and she's entitled to a hearing. So,
Now, my statement to you is, when you make a motion to postpone, it's until a particular time or a particular situation or a particular event. That's all I'm asking. Put in your motion to what point in time you're proposing that this be postponed.
I make a motion to postpone this meeting until January 8th, our next regularly scheduled meeting, because the two items on this agenda were not on the agenda when we voted to have this meeting.
I second.
Okay, it was seconded. So this, it was seconded, and we had a discussion. Okay. So now, that was the original motion, and we've had the discussion, we've closed the discussion. So now we're gonna call for a vote. All in favor of the motion to postpone the meeting? All opposed?
Excuse me, Thomas, I think it's a mistake. It's not to postpone the meeting, it's postpone the discussion.
Postpone
the meeting.
the two items that were added to the agenda.
Yes, not the meeting.
You want to rephrase it again?
Yes, I think you're voting on, you correct me, I'm going to make a statement, correct me if I'm wrong. You're proposing that we postpone discussion of the two items that were not that were added to the agenda until the meeting of January 8th.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now I'd like to make another motion to postpone the whole
Hold on,
meeting.
hold on,
Wait a
let's
minute,
vote
wait a
on
minute.
this.
We gotta
Point
take
of
care
order.
of one at a
Point of
time,
order.
We
please.
voted already.
Okay.
Okay.
You voted already?
Yeah, we voted, it passed.
We voted.
We just
I mean,
clarified.
it didn't pass. It didn't pass. Yeah.
Announce what the vote.
Now I'd like to make a motion to postpone the original topic that was on the agenda because the officer is not present.
I second.
Yeah, we voted not to postpone.
Yes, but can you announce the results of the vote?
The result was four to not postpone, 3 to postpone, and 1 abstain. Mr. Secretary is supposed to be taking notes.
Mr. Third.
Thank you, sir.
I have it. Anybody else?
Okay. Now, what was your next?
My next motion is to postpone the original item that was voted on, which is the discussion of the apology, because the officer is not here, and she's entitled to a hearing according to our bylaws, and she has a valid reason for not being here. Her father passed away. Son's on here from a holiday from college, and they're taking care of her father's estate, and it would be cruel and unjust punishment to do this to Ms. 2K while she's not present to defend herself. And I make a motion to postpone this until January 8th, when she said she would be here.
I second. Again.
Yes.
I do not understand the relevance of, there is no court here, we're not judging anybody per se. This particular motion is to issue an apology, and if the board feels that the board needs to apologize, regardless of what Treasurer Tokay feels, board should apologize. It doesn't matter what anybody does. If I feel that it was done wrongly, regardless of explanation, I'd like to issue an apology. And I did as one unit owner, as one director. And I believe board should do the same. Is Madame Tokay here or not? It's irrelevant. And she was giving ample notice to this particular event as well.
Excuse me, Thomas, we got notice of this special meeting
3 days.
on, it was about a week ago. And that evening, when we got notice of the meeting was going to be held on the 30th, Ms. Tokay stated that she would not be able to attend. So based on that, several directors wanted to cancel the meeting. And obviously, the majority didn't agree, so we're here today. And as Mike said, Ms. Tokay is not here to defend herself. If we're going to add this to the agenda, I don't understand how, we could even talk about her removal.
This is not a motion, point of information. This is not the motion. The motion is postponed.
Yeah, the motion is to postpone the discussion of an apology. A motion to postpone her removal and the appointment of a replacement
Okay.
has already been defeated. So you're
Okay.
going to have, that's going to be on
Thank you.
your agenda tonight.
And I'll vote against the apology as well, because the apology involves Ms. Tokay and alleged emails that are insulting or whatever they may be. So since she's not here to defend herself for the same reason, we should postpone this meeting.
Just the first topic was the motion, which is the apology.
Apology.
I'd like to understand how anybody can think that during the holiday season, in the face of losing one's father a month before, in the face of having your son come in from college to deal with the apartment, cleaning up the apartment, getting rid of the estate, planning a memorial for next week, how anybody can think 3 days is ample notice is well beyond me. And I just think it's part of the heartlessness that this board can show to other directors, and I think that's terrible. And I would also like to say that even you, Mr. Buckaloo, in your memo, which I will, I know you were talking about her replacement, but I'd like to quote something from you because I thought you said it very well. From an article, I see, from a memo on December 24th. The meeting has been called, and so it should be held. At the meeting, those in attendance should give consideration to Director Tokay's request that the subject be considered at the January 8th meeting, and her stated reason for not attending this special meeting. The board should consider whether, under the circumstances she describes, it is fair to take a vote on her removal when she is not present to defend herself. The bylaws do say that the officer should have an opportunity for a hearing. Thank you, Bob.
Yes, Mr. Zwick.
Well, I looked at this as if when I thought about this hearing here and what's going on, I thought about it as if someone was to sue if she was to be removed, and go in front of a judge and tell him to the judge, like, explaining to the judge that the reason she didn't show up to court was because her father had passed away and because her son was in town, and that she had to go and deal with his estate, and it was in the middle of the holidays, and she was only given 3 days' notice. And I thought about reasonable accommodation and reasonableness, and I couldn't imagine any judge ruling against postponing the hearing based on those three things. I just can't imagine it. I can't imagine anybody with any human sense of decency not giving her the opportunity to be here during this hearing.